Hey everybody. How you doing? Mm-mm-mm. Oh my goodness, I missed y'all. Hey, I missed y'all. Just got over my birthday weekend. Y'all hear me? Hey, make sure my volume's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. How y'all doing? Yes, I just got over my birthday, y'all. Hey. So did Aquarius Maximus lose her faith? Last week was a seven of spades. Thank you. It was a seven of spades week, and that is the card of faith. So I know a lot of y'all had some struggles last week. Just some. Last week to me was the longest week ever because it was a seven of spades week, of course. And this week is an eight of spades week. But last week, man, whoo, y'all. Whoo. So the last 2, 3 weeks, I had really been going through it. And not for the reasons that you think. It began with it really began with my kids, you know, my especially my older son. My oldest son had a conversation with me and he was like, "Mom, you always teach us that um you know good things come to good people and that the trouble that could come out of doing bad things or being a bad person." And I try so hard to do the right thing, not get into trouble, stuff like that. This is my oldest son. And this whole fiasco, and not even just the election, but the cabinet members being picked, all of this stuff like that. He was like, "Man, I can't take this." He was like, I can't take this white supremacy thing." Like, just to be totally honest. He was like, we need to move. We need to get out of this country and all of this stuff. So, dealing with my kids and knowing that it's not even just the faith that they have, but it's also the faith that they have in me. You know what I mean? Like I'm like Wonder Woman. I've made a lot of miracles and things happen for my family and my kids. This is something that I just can't take a brush and brush over. You know what I mean? And I took a real hard look, at my life because, I'm turning 50. I turned 50 Saturday, right? And I was like, wow, I've done so much, done a lot of things. I've been the first woman to create a crypto on my own, to develop a crypto. I've had a decades long career in the tech world. Um, I've worked with many celebrities in the web development world. I built websites for Samuel Jackson back in the days, Steve Harvey, like all these different people. I've worked with a lot of people, you know what I mean? And I still feel like I'm still grinding, and not where, I should be. And that's what happens when you get to 50, because in 2 years, I'll be at 52. I'll be at the God year. And honestly, this birthday year, 49, because 49, that's a derivative of seven. So you're talking about Saturn. So that was a very Saturnian year for me. But at 49, you enter the God 7 years cycle. So you enter the King of Spades years, you know? And at 52, that's when you're in the King of Spades year. So as you start to approach those years, you start looking back on your life. And that's why a lot of people pass away at 52 and even 53. My kid's father passed away at 53, you know? So because you're around that God year and you're like, what have I made of my life? Like, how have, have all of the effort have I put? What do I have to show for it? So you start having these feelings, you go through all of these feelings. At 50, you start going through an identity crisis because it's a Jack of Spades year. At 51, you really kind of want to withdraw in because it's a Queen of Spades year and you don't wanna really deal with nobody. And at 52, you really want to be like, "Dude, where's my accolades?" You know? And I remember in last year, I was approached about potentially being in a very, very big magazine. I'm not going to say what it is because hopefully it still comes through. And to be totally honest, that's something I've been waiting for decades. Like, this is where I want to see myself. You know what I mean? I want to see myself. I got all these people calling me. Uh, hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. It's funny how I get all these calls and at the same time, like the house is blowing up kind of thing. I had to stop because I be living in real life, y'all. I'm living the YouTube life. I gotta answer calls. So anyway, that's what happens during these years. So that's where I am. So last week I was like, and then I also Neptune is getting ready to cross through my first house. It's on my ascendant. It's the ruler of my ascendant. I have Neptune conjunct the North Node in my natal chart. I have Jupiter in Pisces. Like, I got a lot of Neptunian energy. And I was like, I had to ask myself, am I like really that magical or am I being delusional? You know what I mean? Am I deluding myself? So these are the questions that I asked last week because I was like, I really want to just face reality and what reality is. And reality is that on this totem pole on earth, you got these people that are up here pulling all the strings, and you got me way down here. And I normally don't feel like that. I normally don't feel like I'm way down here. I normally feel like up high. I'm a real up high kind of person. But prior to last week, I was feeling like down here. I was like, oh my God, there really is a glass ceiling. I was like, wow. So I really, really wanted to withdraw from people. I wanted to withdraw, period. I canceled my birthday trip, by the way. 'Cause a lot of people think I went away on my birthday. I was right up there in my bedroom working, grinding. I was grinding for 2 days straight because I did go to New York and see my daughter and my grandkids and stuff like that. But then I came back and I just stayed in a room. And I was like, I told my friends, I was like, my next YouTube is going to be, did Aquarius Maximus lose her faith? And they was like, no, don't do that. I said, you know how I am. Like, I got to be transparent about everything because I don't want you to think that because I'm successful or when you see me successful, I didn't have a low moment just like you did, or I don't have low moments. I typically really don't have moments, but I had a low moment. I'm fed up moment. You know, why am I here on this planet moment? And a lot of people were texting me and they were going through it. And it was like, they wanted to get a call with me, they wanted to whatever. Everybody was going through it. And I also realized I was like, everybody going through it, but they don't know I'm going through it too, you know? So so I was like, what is faith? I think I didn't lose my faith, but I do think that my faith shifted a little bit. So I had to sit back and take a hard look at what supports me. Like, what do I do that I can count on to give me back or to take care of me, make sure it pays the bills, make sure it takes care of my family? Work. That's what I could do. I could work. When I work, I make money. You know, I was like, that's one thing I can have faith in. And not only do when I work, I'm gonna make money, but when I work, I'm gonna make a lot of money, you know? So I was like, hmm, that's something I can have faith in, you know? And I think my spirits was cool with that because they always cool with me working and making money. They always cool with that. They was like, I remember when I first got into this, my spirits was like, we don't care if you do this thing, you do this stuff, as long as you continue to make money. Because you got a whole bunch of people to take care of. Not only do I have my kids, I got about 20, 15 people in the shrine. I got about 15 shrines over here. I got spirits, orishas, this, that. I got all of these things to take care of. And it could be a burden. Like, dang, like there's a lot on me. I got other people I take care of outside of the household sometimes, you know? So you got to make money. So I shifted a lot of my energy back to my tech stuff. Y'all know I've been building platforms, working on platforms for the benefit of people, like solve states. I'm working on. I just built a social network, another one that I'm gonna announce here that I'm pitching to some pretty big people. So I did all of that in a week. In a week. And I was like, man, I could be doing some magical things. I'm working on some things for guap. I said, this is where I am. This is where I'm at. And it wasn't me being distracted by social media, scrolling through timelines and answering, a bunch of questions and posting, having to post content for, some people are like, they gotta have content, all of that. When I could just funnel my energy into a few big things and watch them take off. You know what I mean? Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I have to admit, I miss Instagram. I miss the real people on Instagram. There's some real folks up in there. I the real people. But what am I gonna come back or anything like that? I thought about it. I said maybe I'll pop in there to advertise my new platform. Come see us over there. So maybe I'll do that. But at the end of the day, y'all should see that there's a big exodus going on off of these big platforms. And some people really depend on these platforms for their livelihood or for their attentionhood. So the question is, what you gonna do now? You know what I mean? And some of us have been doing it offline. You got to get your offline skills together. You get your offline plan. You got to get your offline family. They could be your online family, but they're not your social media family, like the everybody family. These are like the real people. It's time to congregate with the real people who really align with your values, people who gonna be there for you when the shit hits the fan around here. When all of these things come, martial law, when, you know, fighting on the streets, people are scared, and when people scared, they fight. And when people are scared, revolutions start. You know what I mean? So, what you going to do is the question. How are you going to prepare? Who are you going to call on? Like, why you got to sit here and be like, who can I call on to help me when there could already be a community for you that is there and we're really there to help each other, no matter where we live. So that's my goal to build. That's my greater goal, you know? And it's funny. It's like anybody who knows me, they know how real I am. Like they notice the real shit I do. That it ain't just this social media thing. I don't need to be a cardiologist, astrologer, psychic, anything. All I need to be is me. You know what I mean? Now, cardiology, I love it. I still do it. I'm still going to share it. I still teach it. I'm still working on things for people to have. You know what I mean? I knew that once Pluto started transiting my 11th house, I knew having a six of diamonds in Jupiter, that being in this space, I was going to have haters. The haters were going to come in this space, doing the same thing I do, which doesn't make sense how anybody could be doing this if you really love it and you got time to hate on people. Like, that don't even make sense to me. You got a lot of time on your hands. You know what I mean? So, good evening. Good evening. Well, let me tell you something. A lot more men gonna be in prison if folks don't get it together. I was talking to someone last week about the quote unquote fallout of the loss of the quote unquote Department of Education and all of that. What you gonna do when your kids don't have all these resources? Well, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna take your baby daddy to court, is what you're gonna do. It's gonna be a flood of child support stuff out there. They ain't playing with you. They can be locking you up too. That's what's gonna happen. I mean, that's just totally real. People think that these things don't affect them. Oh well, if they close down the Department of Education, then maybe that's a good thing. Schools suck anyway. What about all these kids with IEPs and who have speech therapy and who have this and who have that and got long lines of bills that they're gonna have to pay privatizing things or going private? Who gonna pay for that? Daddy. Daddy gonna pay for that. I talked about that before. I talked about the King of Diamonds and the King of Hearts. The King of Hearts has the King of Diamonds in Mercury, and the King of Hearts represents the father. Mercury represents the children. King of Hearts has a King of Diamonds in Mercury. That means that fathers have to be financially responsible for their children. Like, even if they can't be, they have to support the person who's financially responsible for the kids, who's stepping in, which might be the mother, right? She doing the financial stuff. But he holds the karma of the finances, the financial part, because he gave up a he gave a what do you call it? A financial contract in doing this. Six of diamonds in Neptune. You even know. A lot of people don't even know. They're not. You're drinking, you're having fun, you're enjoying sex or whatever. So that's all smoothing over the six of diamonds, the karma, the binding, the karmic binding, and the karmic responsibility, right? So this is a karmic responsibility for not filling up the 12th house, for not filling up the prisons, for not filling up the hospitals. This is a karmic responsibility for that. If you take care of your children, you won't be filling up the prisons. You won't be. If you are teaching your children legitimate financial responsibility, you won't be filling up the prisons. You won't be filling up the graveyards. You won't be filling up the hospitals. That's what that placement is. So they have a financial responsibility. The mother, which is the Queen of Hearts, that mother, the loving mother, she has a 10 of clubs in Mercury. So her responsibility with the children is teaching them the ways of the world, teaching them the ways of the world, teaching them common sense, teaching them communication, helping them with their communication skills, 10 of club things, bringing them into the royal fold, telling them, like, nah, you're better than that. Making sure that they don't grow up in places that are not conducive to their well being, which is a 10 of clubs thing. You can't have your kids in bad places and not expect at least one or two or three of them to get into trouble. Some of y'all insist on raising your kids in bad places, and you'll even say, well, it can happen to them over here. It's less likely to happen to them over there. So you raise your kids, you got royal kids. A lot of y'all giving birth to royals. And when you give birth to royals and they're not living in royal places, then those other people want to take them out. Want to take them out because they know they're royals and they know they don't belong there. And a lot of you give birth to royal kids. And then your kids, when your kids get in trouble, your kids get in bad trouble because they spare no rod for the royal children. So I had to throw that in there because the men would be like, well, what about the women? What are they responsible for? They're responsible for making sure and holding you accountable and making sure their kids have the very best life they could possibly have. That's what they're responsible for. So, a lot of stuff. Hey, thank you for the birthday wishes. I had to really crawl out of the hole. I was like, okay, you got to get back. Birthday over. Time to get back. Time to get back to work. Time to do what you do. Time to do it. Suck all that faith up and get back to work. So if you was wondering why last week may have been extra taxing, or you may have been extra angry, then yes, last week was a very angry card. This week is a fight back card. This week is the Eight of Spades. It is a card of overcoming obstacles and willpower, but really what it's about is overcoming negative thinking. Because the biggest obstacle that you could ever have is negative thinking, negative self-doubt, all of that. That's the biggest obstacle you could ever have. And that's what this card is about. It's a card of overcoming those thoughts. So me having the Eight of Spades and Pluto, this is my Pluto card. I become your cheerleader. You know what I mean? Like I literally become your cheerleader. I'm here to say, bump all of that. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of things that we can accomplish. Let's get it. Let's get this money. Let's get it. Let's build this community. Let's put people together. Let's prove them all wrong. Because that's what I do. Jupiter in the 12th house, Jupiter in Pisces, I prove them all wrong. I'm the underdog that they didn't see coming. And you got to think of yourself as that too. You're the one they didn't see coming. You're going to sneak up out of nowhere and do your thing. So keep grinding. Thank you. Thank you. Six of clubs. Yeah, absolutely. If you're a six of clubs, you do deal with the Eight of Spades. That is your karma card. Absolutely. And you will deal with people who will test you and tax you. You know what I mean? But nothing's going to stop those messages. Nothing's going to stop the truth that wants to be revealed, that wants to come out of you. Nothing's going to stop it. Nothing. You're going to talk. So, I have to, hi, thank you. So, I'm not going to be up here too long, but the answer to that question is nah, I didn't lose my faith. My faith is reshaping itself. It's transforming. It's going to get better results. That's what my faith is. I still believe. Create. So I said I was going to do some free readings. I am looking at TikTok to do my readings on. Trying to see if I'm going to do it here, if I'm going to do it on TikTok. But somewhere y'all can drop in and y'all can ask me questions. I'm just going to sit here all day and answer your questions. It ain't even about the money. Just give me your questions. And if I can help, I can help. And Sia says, oops, sorry. Sia says, I feel you on having faith in your intuition. It's like you see things coming, but the timing is off. Absolutely. My timing is always off. For real. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's always off. Yes, answer my question. Oh, we got Eden. Hi. Faith is your foundation. 4 hearts. That's our combination card. Foundation. Absolutely. Yes. My faith is reshaping itself. Absolutely. Everything changes, so why shouldn't faith, right? Oh, my dog is back. She trying to tell me to come on. Everything, there's nothing constant in the universe but change. Hey, wait. Nothing constant in the universe but change. So yes, my faith is reshaping itself. Definitely. Love you too. So at any rate, I'm gonna be around. I'm back up here. I'm gonna be back up here doing some things. I just wanted to emerge from Hermitville and tell you I ain't going nowhere. Just to let you know. I'm not going nowhere and we're gonna get through this together. I'm a 7 of spades. Oh. Did you ask a question, Sia? Because I might have missed it. Can you give me a little bit more insight about the 2 of diamonds? Lord, the 2 of I've been talking about 2 diamonds all day, so I'll talk about it a little bit right now. Because that's my son. My son is a 2 of diamonds. I have a lot of 2 of diamonds around me, and Mars and Saturn. Mars and Saturn. So very, very, very intelligent. Super intelligent. There's nothing that you can't do or learn because you have a Jack of Spades and Mercury. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so y'all, so I found out who she was barking at. She barking at the DoorDash. DoorDashers. But because y'all have a Jack of Spades, let me talk about the Jack of Spades too, because that's a very interesting card. I'm in that this year. The Jack of Spades is a card that it's like a very, very, very high degree of intelligence. I'm gonna say that because it's the card. It's actually the card of like cloning and mimicking, right? So people who have a Jack of Spades, they learn by mimicking, right? But that's not a bad thing because they could do things like learn how to play the piano, like a 2 of diamonds, like what's her face, Alicia Keys. She's a 2 of diamonds, right? And my son is a 2 of diamonds. He plays the piano as well. He learned by ear, and that's learning while you're in it, like you're doing it. So anything that you want to learn, you got to put yourself and immerse yourself in it, and you'll learn it, you'll absorb it. The Jack of Spades is also the card that gives singers their gifts because your ability to sing is through mimicking sounds. So you're hearing sounds and you're able to reproduce those sounds just by hearing them, right? So that's why some people go for vocal lessons because they're learning from this other person, or, because they've been out there mimicking styles, getting pieces and techniques from here and there and there, and they build up their singing capabilities, right? So, and the Jack of Spades, if you're an artist, it could turn you into an artist. I've seen people who have a Jack of Spades go from just I'm learning how to do art. The next thing you know, they are literally copying somebody. They are painting. They can draw people that make it and make it look like a painting, right? That's how the Jack of Spades is. And even if you use it towards intellectual things, like it's my Venus card. So I'm coding, I'm doing this, I'm doing so many different things that I know how to do because I just throw myself into it and then I learn how to do it. So the Two of Diamonds has that in Mercury. So you can learn something fairly quickly, fairly quickly. But the goal of the Jack of Spades is to find out who you really are, what is really for you. You know what I mean? Just because you can learn all these things and you can get all these talents, they may not be who you are. This might not be who you are. You just can do it and you can do it great. So, certain times in your life, you're going to have identity crises, right? You're going to come to a point where you feel like a way that you have been being, a mask that you have been wearing is no longer appropriate for the time. So then you have to take that mask off and discover another layer of who you are, right? So that's a big thing with the Two of Diamonds. So Two of Diamonds can have many different personalities. Sometimes some Two of Diamonds, they seem to appear to suffer from mental illnesses because of the Jack of Spades. They can have many different personalities. They can switch into roles. That is a good actor. The Jack of Spades is the card of the actor. So that just means that you can mask. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have poker faces. They can have poker faces. But when your emotions come out, they come out hard because you had that hard, solid poker face. But behind the scenes somewhere, there may have been something building and building and building and building and building up until one day it just like pops, right? And then you might have an episode because you let those things build and build and build and build. So the Two of Diamonds is also very fortunate when it comes to money because it's one of the billionaire cards, right? But the thing about being a billionaire is you don't really have $1 billion. What you will have is a lot of connections that have money. You will have access to places that hold money. You won't have to pay to go into certain places because your being is the money, right? So this is a lesson that the Two of Diamonds would have to go through life learning about building the value or accepting the value that they come with that's priceless. So, and that is their creativity. They're one, like I said, they're one of the most creative cards there. So that's with the Two of Diamonds. I'm working on being an ordained minister, and I'm an Ace of Heart. Any insight into 2025? I'm gonna tell you, you gotta have a lot of work. Your ministry gonna be big. People gonna need you. This is where people are gonna be turning to. They're gonna be turning to people who got the word for them. They're going to be turning to people. It's a Nine of Hearts year. And the Nine of Hearts is what? Forget what it is too. The Ace of Hearts. But it's one of your cards. I think it's your Neptune card. If I'm not mistaken. What's the Nine of Hearts? It's your Uranus card. The Nine of Hearts. And it's a Uranus year, right? I mean, it's a Nine of Hearts year. So that means that they're going to be, you have the ability to gather people, large amounts of people, and heal them, in some way. So your ministry is going to be original. It's going to be probably on the road, or because it can nothing tie you down. The Ace of Hearts, you ain't supposed to be tied down. You're supposed to have a roving ministry. You know what I mean? But while you're going through that ministry, like while you're giving, you got to also think about what is your ask? What do you need? Because you have the capability of gaining what's close to your heart's desires. Don't put that aside. So this is could be a big year for you in gaining some of your biggest heart desires. And that kind of reminds me of something I was going to talk about real quick before I go. Is you still got your trailer? Yay! Well, I'm going camping tomorrow. No, I'm going camping Wednesday, and going out in the woods and by the lake is like so refreshing for me. Oh my God. I get so rejuvenated by doing that. But one of the things I was going to talk about before I leave is so this year I have a four diamonds in Pluto, and it's with the nine of hearts. And I was trying to figure out what's that gonna be. Like I got a lot of four diamonds friends. So I knew, it was gonna involve my friends in some way. But the day I was thinking about it, I started singing this song. I don't know if y'all remember that song, I Wanna Thank You, Alicia Myers. I wanna thank you. You remember that song? So if you old like me, you know that song. But why that song was so significant to me is that that was my aunt's favorite song. And guess what card my aunt was? She was a four diamonds, right? So, like in the four diamonds in Pluto, so I'm thinking about from the dead. And I'm like, oh shit. Because even before I put two and two together, that I'm walking around singing this song all day, I thought about my aunt. Before I even put two and two together, she came to mind. And I was like, oh, so I was singing your song all day. You was trying to talk to me? I was like, whoa. But this is the kicker, y'all. I have the four diamonds and the nine of hearts. This is the wishes. This is your biggest wishes, right? Next to four diamonds, Pluto. So I was like, dang, y'all, I got to get a shrine together for my aunt. But cause she gonna bust down obstacles for me to have my biggest wishes. So sometimes you don't know what to do. That's why cardology is like so great. It does deal with the dead too. So I was like, I need to be working with her. Like, I need to be like, she's like here saying all the deep obstacles that you're gonna deal with that are gonna stand in your way of being able to have your heart's desires. I'm here to help you with. And she was a four of diamonds, which is the card of sensible security. You know what I mean? This is when you start thinking sensibly about money. This is when you start building a secure foundation for yourself. This is about a bank. This is about bank. So y'all know I'm building a bank. So I was like, oh, so you're gonna help me. You're gonna help me with my bank, you know? So y'all singing that song. Hey. It could happen without you. That's what I'm talking about. So that started lifting my face up a little bit more. That was like in my another one of the low days, right? That was just after I cursed out all the spirits on the spirit side and was like, man, F y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't with me here in the struggle. That's when I did that. So I got to put together her shrine for her. And I got to listen real close to what she's trying to tell me. And she's going to give me the secret, the keys to securing the bag. So that's another thing that cardology can do for y'all. Don't forget your deceased, because if your deceased cards show up in your cards, they're there to do something. There's something that you're pulling from that DNA that is going to do something or be your trump card. Hate to use that word now. Going to be your card. So check your spread, check your Healy spread, check your ancestors, check your life spread. See who those people are and what they're there to do in your life. What can they do for you because they want to. So You're 4 Diamonds and you love that song? Ah, oh my goodness. Can you give me some insights on my Queen of Hearts relationship? Let me tell you something. The Queen of Hearts is the woman king, right? So it's all about finding your highest worth and value. And that's not usually something that lies in another person. That is something that lies in you, right? So, and it's so funny you brought that up because the Queen of Hearts, my cousin that passed away a week ago was the Queen of Hearts. But that's something to uplift you and make you feel more worthy, right? That's why a lot of people find marriage as something that makes them feel worthy, makes them feel uplifted because the Queen of Hearts does that to you, right? And and that's how combination cards are. Combination cards are also there to show you what your current lessons are. So you telling me that I know all about you and what you need to do and what you need, where you need to be going, what you need to be focused on. Believe it or not, you might think you need to be focused on the other person or the relationship, but this is a worldly card. This is a worldly card. This is finding your place in the world, like on the big stage, on the big throne, and also knowing your worth and being able to assess if you're not getting your worth off with their head. Y'all do remember that the Queen of Hearts is off with their head, right? Queen of Hearts ain't nothing to play with. It's not no lovey-dovey energy all the time. Matter of fact, it's not really lovey-dovey. It's because it sits in Neptune, it's shielded by this sweet energy. So you think that, oh, this is a pushover. Oh, this is sweet. Oh, this is that. But this is the mother. But a lioness will kill you. So that's just something to think about. Hey, she said Cancer energy. Ah, you missed the 4 Diamonds game and insight. Oh no, I'm always giving 4 Diamonds. This is one of my favorite cards, y'all. Definitely one of my favorites. So anyway, y'all, I am getting back to work. I will see y'all tomorrow. I am uploading classes to my Patreon. I've been totally not there in my Patreon like I need to be. I had my moment, but I'm back to my moment. I'm back from my moment. So I'll be adding some of my classes. Saturday, I believe, I have my AI class. I have been giving y'all the sauce on building your own apps using AI. And I'll see some of y'all signing up for that class. I can give other classes. Everybody gonna be there, but the classes that's gonna get you the bag, y'all not signing up for those classes. Y'all need to sign up for those classes. If you ever wanted to create your own app, you want to build websites for other people. You want to build apps for other people. You want to start a startup. Nobody has a startup nowadays without a technical aspect to it. These are what my classes is about. Those are 4-hour classes, 3 and 4 hour classes I'm giving on that stuff. And that class is Saturday. You can go to my snip feed and I will put it here. See, I don't even advertise it. That's how you know. It's like because people, people don't really give away the good stuff. They don't. You're right. They don't give away the good stuff. They don't yell it at the top of their lungs. You don't hear nothing about it. That's how we have secret societies and stuff like that. So you miss stuff. But I'm giving you the business. So I see some of y'all Saturday at this class, and no, you don't need any experience in technology or AI. You gotta, y'all all, do you realize how much experience y'all all got using the internet? The internet has given people a tremendous amount of experience. So you can't sit here and say that you are computer illiterate now. You can't say that a lot of y'all say that, and it's not true. You just convinced yourself of that. You know what I mean? It's not true at all. So, at any rate, I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.